Welcome to Focus Heavenward Ministries. Last week, we entered the celestial world of angels. Not something imagined, but purposed and real, with a charge to protect God's elect. When we consider the reality that we have a host of heavenly beings guarding us, there is no reason to fear any circumstance which may befall us. God's angels have been charged with the purpose of guarding and protecting His children in all their ways. This means as we strive to follow God, we have protection from evil around us and protection from the sin which wages war against our soul. As we continue to Psalm 91 verse 12, we read that His angels are not only present to keep us, but also to carry us. Let me read our text. Psalm 91:12. They will bear you up in their hands, lest you strike your foot against a stone. How does it feel when you stub your toe or snag your foot on something? It hurts. It has always been amazing to me how hurting such a small part of your body can make you feel sick all over. Momentarily, we're stopped in our tracks as we catch our breath. When we are in danger of being snagged by sin, God's angels will act as a hedge of protection for us, and they will hold us up. They will help us and carry us when we are struggling to move on. Think of the term bearing up under pressure. We will be furnished with what is needed so that we can keep on keeping on in His strength. Picture something being held in the hollow of a hand, and you get the idea. Several years ago, we decided to get baby chicks in order to have our own eggs. This was very exciting for our young grandchildren. They loved holding the baby chicks in their cupped hands as they softly spoke to them. They were also very careful to not let them fall, because if they did, chances are they would be injured. These little chicks needed protection. They needed to be looked after because they were weak. Those who follow God have His promise of protection now and His promise of a future where there will be no strife and no sin. Job 5 verse 23 reads, "For you will be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field will be at peace with you." And Hosea 2 verse 18 says, "In that day I will also make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, and the creeping things of the ground. And I will abolish the bow, the sword, and war from the land, and will make them lie down in safety." But for now, we have God's perfect care ministered through His heavenly messengers. Consider a child learning to walk and the support that they feel when holding on to something. In the same way, we have assurance of protection, of having guidance and support along the way. When we stumble, when we are in danger of tripping over an obstacle, we will be caught from falling. Listen to this quote. "They shall bear thee up in their hands, take the same care of thee as a nurse does of a weak and tender child. Lead thee, teach thee to walk, lift thee up out of the way of danger, lest thou shouldst dash thy foot against a stone, receive any kind of injury, or be prevented from pursuing thy path with safety and comfort." Now, this does not mean we can purposefully place ourselves in danger. It does mean if we are continually seeking God's guidance, we will be led away from evil and be kept in the way of His truth. Listen to this quote. by Henry Lawrence from A Treaty of Our Communion and War with Angels, written in the mid-1600s. It says, "We are poor, rustic people, strangers, but being adopted into the household of God, He gives His most noble ministers, the angels, charge, first of our nursing and then of our education. When we are weaned, to instruct us, to admonish, to institute, to correct us, to comfort us, to defend us, to preserve us from all evil, and to provoke us to all good. And these angels, seeing we are so dear to God, that for our sakes He spared not His own Son, take this charge with all their hearts upon them, and omit nothing of their duty from our birth to the end of our life." Let me read Psalm 37, verses 23 and 24. It says, "The steps of a man are established by the Lord, and He delights in his way. When he falls, he shall not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand." Proverbs 3 speaks of the importance of holding on to God's truths. In verses 21 through 23, it says, "My son, let them not depart from your sight. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, so they will be life to your soul and adornment to your neck. Then you will walk in your way securely, and your foot will not stumble." Remember who carries you, the angels of God. Let's take this encouragement and walk with a steady purpose under His protection for His glory. Focus heavenward until we meet again.